Hello and welcome to another episode of my Productivity Mastery series. My name is Pullein and today I'm going to talk to you about something that seems to have got completely lost in this new year excitement of goals and plans and projects, and yet is way more powerful than any of those if you want to get yourself sorted out this year and to be focused on the things that are truly important to you, and that is to get your morning routine fixed. Now, a morning routine is all about you. It's time for yourself. Now, quite often, most of us are so busy dealing with our kids and our spouse and our partners, and then all the things that we have to do with work, it's so easy to forget that we need time as well. And that's why it's really important to set aside time in the morning before the day goes crazy, where you can focus on things that you want to do each day. But this also gives us an opportunity to get clarity and focus on what we want to get accomplished each day. Now, let me give you an example. One of the things that I do, I come up here into my office first thing in the morning, and the first thing I do is I make my coffee. I put the kettle on. Now, while the kettle is boiling, I'm going to start doing my morning shoulder stretches just to get the shoulders going, because I tend to have a bit of tightness in my shoulders. So I do my shoulder stretches every morning. Also, I will drink a glass of lemon water. Now, my lemon water recipe is actually quite simple. It's 2 lemons squeezed into, I think it's 1.5 litre jug, and added with some water. And then I also put in 3 grains of sea salt in there, because when we're sleeping overnight we lose a lot of salt, because the first thing you do in the morning is you go to the bathroom. So I drink my lemon juice water, and also I then make my coffee. I brew my coffee in a Chemex coffee maker. And I've been doing this for such a long time. Coffee is my go-go juice in the morning, although I actually think the lemon juice probably gives me that jolt to really wake me up. Now, once I've done those things, I've done my stretches, I've drunk my lemon water, and I've made my coffee, I come and sit down at my desk and I start writing my journal. This is one of my favorite times of the day. The office is really quiet, nobody is bothering me, I'm not looking at email, my messages is turned off, and I just spend 10 to 15 minutes each morning writing my journal. It's, as I say, it's part of my favorite time of the day. I really look forward to writing the journal. Now, controversially, once I've completed my journal writing, I then go into my email inbox and I only clear my inbox. Now, I will typically get between 80 and 100 emails through the night, simply because of where I'm based. I'm based in the Far East. Most of my clients are based in Europe or the US, so there's kind of between, I think it's 8 hours and 17-hour time difference. So while I'm sleeping, most of my clients and most of my customers are actually awake, so I get email through the night. But one of the most important reasons why I believe you should be clearing your inbox in the morning. Now, there is a difference between clearing your inbox and doing email, that's a separate thing, is I want to know if any appointments have been cancelled, I want to know if anything's been updated through the night, because that's likely to have an effect on the work that I'm going to be doing that day. Deadlines often shift. Somebody might have said, I really need this by Thursday, and I then get an email saying, it's okay, the pressure's off, we can do it next week. Well, that changes the day. So I need to know about that early and before I get started. Now, the next thing, and before I finish my morning routines, is I look at my objectives for the day. I'm not looking at the whole task for the day. I just want to get clarity on the things that I want to get accomplished that day. Those are the 2 things that I will have decided when I did my closing down routine, which I will do a video on in the near future. And that's it. Now, the key to a good, solid morning routine is that it needs to be set up for you. You might like to do some exercise in the morning. You might want to do some meditation. Whatever it is, some people like to read in the morning. Whatever you want to do in the morning, that's what you set up as your morning routines. Now, the key is to get consistent with this so that you're doing it every single morning, not just Monday to Friday, but you're also doing it on a weekend, because this is a habit that you want to develop. Now, if you've read James Clear's book Atomic Habits, you'll know something called a trigger, a habit trigger if you like. Now for me, my morning routine, my trigger is turning that kettle on. I just immediately turn on the kettle and then I prepare my Chemex coffee maker, and while I'm waiting for the kettle to boil and my coffee to brew, I will do my stretches. So it's an automatic response. Now I've been doing this probably for about 3 or 4 years, so I don't actually need to think about it. Now this is going to lead me on to something that I'm really going to strongly advise that you don't put your morning routines into your task manager. Now, if I add up my morning routines, there's probably about 5 or 6 things that I do in my morning routine. If I put those into my task manager, that's 5 or 6 additional tasks that are just going to annoy me and are going to overwhelm me basically when I look at my task manager. If you want to keep a track of your morning routines, create a journal with a checklist. You can do this in Evernote, Apple Notes. You could use a dedicated journaling app, for example, like Day One, or you could do it in OneNote or whatever notes app you're using. You can create a template, put the checklist in there and use that as your checklist. If you're following my tip on using a daily note, you could do it in there. You can just create the checklist. The beauty of that is, in a task manager, when you check something off, it disappears. There's no record of you doing it unless you go burying deep inside the application. Alternatively, you put it into a notes app, there's always a record. You can track your progress to see how consistent you are with it. But it's really important that you build this morning routine for yourself. Now, one other tip that I should give you is don't make it time specific. And what I mean by that is, don't say every morning at 6 a.m. I'm going to do my morning routines. Life is not quite as perfect as that. There are going to be days where you may need to get to the airport by 6 a.m. so you have to wake up at 3 and then you're going off to the airport. That's no excuse for not doing your morning routines. I remember there is a tradition here in Korea where on New Year's Day you wake up to see the sunrise. Well, I had all my family here last year and they were all getting ready to go. I'm going to drive off to the coast to watch the sunrise. I woke up an hour early so I could do my morning routines. It was beautiful. It was one of the best mornings of doing morning routines. Everyone was downstairs getting ready and I was here in my office doing my morning routines. It was a wonderful moment. It gave me that 1 hour, actually it's about 45 minutes, my morning routines, of just peace and quiet and to focus on me and do the things that I wanted to do before the day started. And that's the key. The beauty of starting your morning routines is I know I need 45 minutes. So if my day starts at 7 a.m., if my first appointment is at 7 a.m., then I need to wake up at around about 6 a.m. so I've got time to do my morning routines before I do my first call. Equally, on a Saturday morning when I don't necessarily have to wake up early, I might wake up at 8 and do my morning routines then. So my morning routines is giving me my guideline. If I see that my day needs to start at a specific time, I will wake up an hour earlier so I have the time to do my morning routines. And that's a key part. Don't fix the time, because if you fix the time, as I say, life just doesn't work like that. Too many variables and you're going to be moving it around and you'll use that as an excuse not to do your morning routines. So hopefully that's given you a good idea about setting up your morning routines. Rather than worrying about having plans and goals for the year, I strongly recommend is start simple. Start with a solid morning routine that energizes you, empowers you, and gives you some time for yourself. Well, thank you so much for watching this episode, and it just remains for me now to wish you all a very, very productive week. Hello, thank you very much for watching my videos. Now I have something exciting to tell you about. Recently I have developed a brand new time management system. It's a system designed to manage your time in the 21st century. The world has changed a lot over the last 20 years. In fact, it's actually changed a lot this year. And what we need now is a system, a time management system that is very easy to use, easy to maintain, so that you can spend more of your time doing the work. And that's what the time sector system is all about. It's going to change your whole belief system about the way a time management system should work, because this focuses on when you are going to do the task. And let's be honest, it doesn't matter how motivated, inspired, or how urgent something is. If you don't have time to do it, it is never going to get done. And that's what this system is built around, getting your work done, so you can spend more of your time doing the things that you want to do. I hope you join me in this course. The full details of the course are in the show notes below, so please join me, and thank you very much for watching this brief video.